everybody. Hope everyone's doing good today. Just checking audio. Oh, I guess we don't have any music going on right now, do we? Chris. Let's go another episode. Of what? Oh man, I am already tired. I don't know how long I will be streaming today. I just kind of wanted to get in. Ooh, that is loud. Of course, my game audio is super loud like normal. Oh man, I'm trying to remember last time. I can't even remember last time. Where's my audio settings? Oh, what? No. Custom. We already did this. We did this already. Hi. Okay. I need sound info, and I don't know. Oh, come on. Okay. Let me continue one of my games real quick. And I'm gonna see if I can fix the sound, because it's really loud. I can tell it's really loud. But this time... Is that better? I mean... That's probably too loud. It's too loud, it's fine. I'm gonna turn it up in my ear though. Oh! Yeah, I'm so sorry. That is okay. I will try to remember. It's been a while. And I wanted to do this. I'm just tired. It's just one of those things. I'm tired, but I really want to play a Dark Souls game, and I really want to stream. And I just want to make it challenging. Like, I want a challenge. I want something that I can focus on and challenge, and just really challenge myself in this game. So... I'm gonna go all fists. I'm gonna start a new game and just use fists and see how hard that is. It's pronounced Sheen, right? Just making sure. I see Chris every time and be like, sorry. Sheen. I got it. I promise. Alright. Okay, so I can quit the game now. If you don't remember my normal build for this game, was this. Where's it at? What's this? This was my build. This was my OP build. It really is OP. And this is actually on New Game 3. But we're going to switch to a new game here in a second. These guys always give me trouble. Oh, nope, I'm dead. Oh, did it work? It didn't work. It's fine. I was thinking about just playing more with this character, but I don't know. I don't think I want to. I'm gonna run and get those souls. and then we'll start a new game. There we go. Oh, there we go. That's good. That was close. He was coming over here. Okay. So we're going to quit this game. Ugh. Been having shoulder issues and neck problems. Can't sleep perfectly or not. Something weird. Just not sleeping well. I remember you. I think I remember. I'm gonna be honest. Last week, I've been in a funk. I've been in this terrible funk. So I hope you don't take offense if I don't necessarily remember everything. But I remember. Oh, I'm trying to get my arms. Man, it's one of those days, man. It's just one of those days. Okay, so we're going to do new game. Oh, Governor. How you doing?
Perhaps you've seen it. Maybe in a dream.
That's really loud.
A murky, forgotten land.
You're gonna make me do this. You're gonna make me do this, aren't you? No, that's not what I wanted. Shoot. You're gonna make me.
A place where souls may mend your ailing mind. You will lose everything.
Fixing
branded.
Fixing audio real quick, sorry.
The symbol of the
That is
curse.
super loud. Okay.
An augur of darkness.
No, that's still too loud. We're gonna go 17.
Your past, your future.
That's good.
Your very light.
I haven't watched the intro to this in forever.
None
TF2
will have meaning, and you won't even care. By then, you'll be something other than human. A thing that feeds on souls. A hollow.
Oh man, this intro is really good. I think this is better than 3, to be honest.
Long ago, in a walled-off land far to the north, a great king.
It's so pretty. I can't even. I went out to Mark Twain National Forest and we did a video shoot out there, and it was really fun.
How could you?
This is 2, yeah.
But one day, you will.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it. We've all seen this, and if you haven't, sorry. All right. Do I not get to pick a class or anything? I don't remember being able to pick classes. Oh, it's old. It's 2000. Ooh, hang on. 2004. No, not 14. 12, 11, 2011. I don't remember. Actually, I don't think we have anything. Oops. Yeah, we don't have anything. I think this is how I started out last time. It's not bad. It's really not bad. And this was the first Dark Souls game I played. Yeah. There's a couple things we can do. We can get a couple items here. If I remember correctly, no. Yeah, they don't look that bad. They're really not that bad. Yep. Rusted coin. Yeah, we're not going to be able to catch up with those things. I don't remember half the stuff that you would get. Oh, we'll just go in here, get it going. Try to recall name. Fista cuffs. How about that? Oh, was it not? Hang on, was it not? Vista? Sure. I really hope that's not a bad name. Is Vistaprint is all you heard? That's funny. Okay. Oh, we're gonna have to change those audios again. We can bump them to probably 100% again. Class and gifts. Let's start out with nothing. No gifts, no class. We should do... Hang on, how do you do... It's a boy. How do you do... He looks like a Chad. Well, we're gonna change that. How do you change... Select the cast? No, I don't want to. Nothing. Deprived, I think is, yeah. Okay, there we go. No, how do we do body and face? Hang on, do I have to click on it? I do. Gender. What do we want to play as? You guys can decide. Actually, sure. Okay. Play as a female. And we're gonna do random. Ready? Was that really all I got is for random? Well, that's not interesting. Random. That's funny. Does it just give me options? I want like an actual random generator, I guess. Oh shoot, I lost it. Gosh darn it. Oh wait, I think what you're supposed to do is like hit it a bunch of times. And then see what it comes out with. Hang on. I've seen this done before, and I can't remember. It's supposed to make a really interesting face. No, I want to look. There we go. We're just gonna go with it. Advanced settings. Oh no. I don't want advanced settings. Forget this. Yes.
All people come here for
A little bit.
the same reason, to break the curse.
Okay. What was I gonna say? I need to do something. I don't have equipment. What do I need to do? Oh. Audio. That's what I need to do. Oh, my cursor is in the way. Is that better? Okay, well, I'm done being scared of your character. Good. We're just gonna go all the way up for now, and then if it's too loud, yell at me. Just yell at me. Hey, Dogshot. It has been, hasn't it? Well, it's been a while. I knew once I did my this video job that I wouldn't be getting on for a while. We're doing all right. There we go. Souls in the Dim Torch. Okay. So we're pretty much gonna just try to get through as much of this as possible. I did, but when you pick a class, it takes all that away. And now I'm unhollowed too. Probably. Everything's nonsense here. Alright, Divine Blessing will come in handy. We'll go ahead and stick that on there. We'll stick that on there. Alright. Our stamina. Alright, light the bonfire.
I bet I'll go on and...
You may level up your... Okay.
Bearer for misery, you will never...
Okay. So the first place we're gonna go is we're gonna go over here. We're gonna have to be very, very careful because I could die. I could die. Pretty easily. I don't think that is a hidden path. Good. Ugh, that's a waste of my time. I would, to point, your character needs clothes. Well, yeah. Also, might I ask the whole plot of Dark Souls? You know what? I would look it up. I would do a lookup thing. Because... Oh, is this secret? Hidden path ahead. No? No hidden path? Oh. I forgot this closes. I don't... What was getting interesting? I don't... I'm so airheaded right now. I was talking about... oh. Okay, so lore. I don't know too much about lore on this game. I had to look it up myself, and it was not easy. I did a video shoot out in Mark Twain. I know I was talking about that. Mark Twain National Forest, which is beautiful. It's gorgeous right there. End of story. And shoot went in pretty good. I was editing for about a week, trying to get the video done. I'm kind of waiting for some feedback right now. And then I'll finish that once I get... Bro. The video's turning out good. I just need to get... I need to get approval of a couple things, and then it should be fine. I assume you're using OBS and their new experimental caption feature. Experimental caption feature? Why? Is it looking weird? I didn't know it was experimental. Oh no. YouTube can't even get caption right. Oh. YouTube never can get captions right. I'm gonna see if I can backstab him with my fist. Oh. Well, fists aren't too bad. Multiple enemies are gonna be a massive pain. Oh. The wipes shouldn't be experimental. They've had wipes for a while. Wipes a simple transition. Oh shoot. Work in progress. Oh, sorry. Told you I was tired. Okay. Sleep is for humans. It is. You're absolutely right. Also animals. I don't have my... Oh, I do have my flask. Okay. So, hang on. I need to make sure. Hang on. And then... a little bit more protection. We should keep on keeping on. I'm gonna get a couple more souls here. He's too far up. I'm not gonna mess with him. Oh. Normally someone jumps down here. Let's see if we can get him to jump down. He's gonna keep on missing. Okay, come on. Nothing like punching a zombie. Yep. Oh. There we go. We got some gloves. Yep, it is. Shoot. This is bad. Good thing that's a burn. Slow burn. I don't want to waste the time. Alright. There we go. Throwing knife? Nope. No thank you. Alright, we gotta be careful in the next area. Okay. So he's gonna pop up. Not gonna go too far, we're gonna let him come back. There we go. This guy's gonna wake up. Okay. He's getting... That's fine. That wasn't that hard of a hit. But this is going to be a difficult one. Because this guy has some good armor on. Oh, he didn't die. Oh well. All right. It's already dead. It's like punching a bag. This one reacts a little bit different though, you know. Just punch the wall like nothing ever happened. Okay, so this guy needs to come over here. He needs to come over here. Come on. Come on. I need him to attack me because I'm gonna get too close. I don't want the other guy to wake up. Oh shoot. Oh, you're a jerk face. Oh, did I die? Oh shoot. Gosh, I thought I killed him. I haven't played this game enough to just be able to run through half of it, so I really should get to the point where I could run through and I know like if it's safe to run through, who I should beat up, you know, all those good informations. The classic, you die. Yes. Yes it is. Oh, that's just a sword. I was gonna pick up all these items. This is gonna be a bad idea. Roll! I don't need it. I don't need it. Oh shoot! Enter the mist! No! 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 What are you doing? I know. I did the thing that I wasn't supposed to do, but I did it anyways. Ah, you don't walk like... Alright. Okay, if I do this right... Oh no! I did. I woke up everyone. No! I was supposed to hit the... Ah! I'm starting out with straight A's. I'm gonna need those. Gosh darn it. Alright. Got a plan. And my plan involves this. Alright. Gonna go back there. I'm gonna try to beat the game with fists only.
Seek the there's once you have so that bearer seek less.
Alright. We're going to upgrade. I know. Now, fists, I don't know. I need to find out if, so what is going to up my fists? Is there going to be anything that's going to up my fists? I mean, health would be nice. Endurance would be nice. Hey Google, what increases the amount of damage your fist does in Dark Souls 2? Oh, hey, that's a good question. Do my fist scale? I need to figure out what attributes I need to be put stuff in. If they do, you might want to get some... No. They do scale, increase strength or dex. Okay, so it's dex or strength. Let's go dex for this one, and just we'll keep on going. Actually, I have... Whoops. I have these to do. Use. So let's do... Nope. Dex. We're just gonna keep on going with Dex and stuff. Yes, I have. I can two-hand it and do that. That might help out. I don't know. We'll find out. Depends on... I gotta get the key. There's a lot of stuff I still gotta do. I just started a game, so... Oh, my back. Alright. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. Shoot. What's what? I feel like you're... That's a bad idea. No, Dungeons and Dragons. D&D is Dungeons and Dragons. Alright, that'll help with some of the damage. Maybe I did have those whole time. A game where I can do lots of done stuff. Oh. Okay, here we go. They normally take too long, so... Nope. Forget it. There's items in here, but I don't have... There's a guy up here. He's going to kill me. Gosh dang it. That's what I was worried about. Gosh dang it. Oh no. Oh, this is bad. Hey, bro. Get out of the way. So... yeah. Oh no! No! Can use magic, right? I don't know if I want to use magic. Like, the whole idea is just to use fists. Literally just fists. Now, there is bracers and stuff that you might be able to use, and I don't know if I'm going to use them or not. Magic would be easy. Just using magic would be easy. I gotta just get up. I gotta get up that ladder. If I can get up the ladder, I'd be fine. Yeah, this is not gonna be fun. I don't have to mess with the mist, so a lot of these guys won't follow me. Shoot. Oh no! No! Whoa! 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 Shoot! I'm gonna die. I really probably need to. Yeah, Dark Souls is nothing to shake a feather at. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I can do that. I can do that. I can dig that. I can dig that. Oh, this is perfect. Oh no! Shoot! Gosh. I'm not gonna be able... Oh my gosh. I can't go too far over. Oh no. I'm running out of stuff. Nope, they just killed me there. I shouldn't have stopped the animation of pushing the door open. I think I would have been fine, but... I need... I can't do a lot of damage. Now, the question is, should I be able to use items? Should I use bombs? If I go a certain way, I might only wake up a couple of them. Nope. Come on. Climb it. Climb it. Climb. Gosh dang it. Oh no, I don't have a weapon to put away. Why did I do the put away animation? I had no weapon to put away. Oh, this is gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great, guys. I don't know. I just got hit. Gosh darn it. Until I rage. The other question is, can I summon people in to help me? Because that would just not even... Okay, I need this guy to shoot. I need him to shoot. Ah, no, he pulled his, come on, open up. Oh, run. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Or maybe six. Okay, so we got this down. That's open. I don't have enough money to buy anything. Okay, made it here. The next place I need to go, I don't have any bombs, but I need to go down here. No, no! Oh, I was waiting for the other guy to get there, roll out of the way, and then run, and I messed that up. Yeah, this is where I need to go. I don't think I'm doing more damage with 2 hands. I think I'm doing less. Oh shoot, I hear... Oh no! What happened? Why are all 3 of these here? I have to go right through the mist. I can't deal with... I can't stop. I have to go through the mist. I have to go up the stairs. I have to go. I have to go. Or it's not going to work. Yep. We're just going to have to run. It's fine. Enter the mist. Enter it. Alright. We got a big guy here. He could hurt himself, really. See if I can get him to... Oh, shoot. Gosh dang it. Oh, this is gonna be terrible. Oh shoot. Oh, it's you. Like one-on-one, I'm not too worried. It's just... Okay, I say that. And now I'm worried. I'm worried. Nope, of course, he just had to stab me. Yeah, I think it's this way. If I remember right. I'm trying to just remember any of this. It's been forever since I played. See you, man. Okay, come on, throw it right here. Dang it! I'm trying to get him to blow that one piece up. I don't want to go through there. Whatever. Gotta get him out of the way. There we go. No, move. And then go up the stairs. For a second, grab this. Oh, come on, roll! Good lord, roll! For all that is nice in this world, roll! Okay, I don't remember where I need to go. Oh, that's shoot. I could have swore I thought it was up here. Alright, come up here. Come Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. No, 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 no. Nope. There's only death. There's only death here. I need to go there and then, okay, I know where I need to go. I know where I need to go. I remember this. You go through the fog and then you go down and we go against our first boss. Okay, I remember now. I mean, half of me dying is just trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong. So I need to put a homeward bone on here just in case. Oh, sit back down so I can get the... Okay. Alright. Slide down. Go this way. This isn't the hard part anymore. Now that I know I just need to run through it, it's not really a hard part. And he takes forever to do anything, so I do need to say, okay, there. Okay, climb on that. Climb down. Go probably the direction I don't need to go. Want him to come at me. And then do this. And then I need... This is a hard game. Yes, it is. Okay. I need to get them up here as much as I can. And this time I'm not going to interrupt the animation. Now we go. Now we go. Now we go. Go. You're still behind me. Still behind me. Still behind me. Go up. Go up. Go up. Go up. Go down. Okay. Shoot. Are they going to fall? Whew. Alright. Get ready for the real tough part. I think there's a guy here. I have to fight him. No! No! Oh my gosh! No! Dodge! Dodge him like the Dickens. Oh my gosh, I'm dead. There's no way. Sprint. He really just destroyed me. Oh, now he backs up? Gosh darn it. Okay, the fog won't be there this time. I can run through everything. Ugh. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. The hardest part about this is I can't really kill anyone in a good amount of time. Alright, let's try this again. Oh, that's not good. Sprint. Sprint! Actually, if I would just open this door up, it'd be easier. Alright. Alright, that's what I did. Oh, going down. Alright, now. I don't have to walk everywhere. We're just running. We're running. Alright, first boss. Oh, dang. Oh, shoot. I cannot be close at all. Pretty much. Nope, dead. What am I gonna do? I mean, I don't have to do this. I could go to the other boss that actually has like a gimmick where I don't have to touch him at all. But I don't know. All right. Oh no. No, 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 no. Round 2. Oh, I couldn't get enough away. Oh, wow. Wow. Gotta dodge better. Oh man. Oh man. Dang it. Should I use it? Yeah, whatever. I will give it one more shot. I feel like it's possible it's just going to take forever. It's the damage output that I have. Oh dang, I gotta get away from that. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, are you kidding me? There's not a good spot at all. I gotta be mindful of where I am. Okay, alright, alright. You gotta come over here, bud. I need more space. Oh, that could have really wrecked me. Oh, see, I knew. So swings. Nope. Shoot. Ugh. Oh, Nutter Butters. Gotta get my bearings again. Alright. Nope. I can't be on the outside like that. Oh, I got hit. Well, that's all the health I got. Let's try two hands. Doesn't really do that much damage. Oh no! Ugh. Oh man. Oh man. That's a long battle. Curious, sir. And curious, sir. Huh. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. I just need a little bit more oomph, you know? Hey, you. Gosh dang it, you're gonna kill me too, aren't you? Ooh, backstab. There we go. Yay, I did it! I did not get enough souls for that. Alright. That sucked really. I mean, honestly, me beating him is going to be the easiest ways to get the souls that I need to level up. And I think he's going to be the first boss I probably can beat out of everyone. Hasn't been that long. Come on, give me some credit. Nope, I was stuck there. That's what I was trying to avoid. Nope, nope, I got stuck there again. Gosh darn it. Nope. I want him away from that wall. I'm not messing with that. Yep, stay away. Oh, I still got hit by it. Gosh darn it. I still got hit by that too. Nope. Oh. So go for the leg he just slams. Don't stand by the other one, because he'll always use the opposite one on the slam stuff. And get away from the stinking wall. I shouldn't be getting hit at all. Shouldn't be getting hit at all. No, no, no! No, no, because, gosh, stupid eye. Come on, get over here. Get over here. Get in the middle. Get in the middle. I don't like you over there. Nope, nope, I want him out. I want him out. Come on, come on, come out. There you go. I'm gonna roll between your legs. I'm gonna hit you twice. And then you're gonna stomp on me. Nope, nope, come out. I'm not playing that game. Okay, that's fine. We can keep on doing this all day. If that's what you want. That's a big, big, big one. Ooh. Come out, come out, come out, come out. Nope, come out, come out. I don't want him. It's the wall. There we go, that works. You know what? I should make him do his swinging thing more often. Oh no! That was bad positioning on my end. That's why you always go for that one. know what? We're gonna make him swing at me. We're gonna make him swing at me. Come on. Oh, come on. Come out. Alright. Okay. Okay, we're gonna make you do that again. Come on. Alright, there we go. Come on. Come get me. And I'm going to roll underneath you. And then 1, 2, 3. We're gonna get back here. Because you're gonna try to swing. We're gonna try to step. We're gonna make you turn around. I'm too far away, so I should be able to run. He's gonna stomp on me. We're gonna hit him twice. We're gonna roll away. Hit him. Roll away. Hit him. Roll away. He might go into a frenzy now. Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna get in front of him. He's gonna try to do a scoop. Alright, he's gonna try to step on me. We're gonna punch him. He's gonna try to step on me. We're gonna punch him. We're gonna miss. He's gonna probably go into frenzy here. Oh, we're gonna make him swing. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's fine. Come on. Come on. He has a wide swing. Come on, get a little closer. Alright. Swing. 1, 2, 3. Stomp. 1. Nope. Frenzy stomp. We're not doing that. Nope. Roll. Roll. Ah. That was my bad. You gotta stay on the inside. Gotta stay on the inside. Okay, I'm gonna scoop back. He's gonna turn to me, and then he's going to scoop. He's gonna stomp. Oh no! I don't know what he's gonna do on that. Oh no. Oh, I'm not used to this. He's probably gonna slam. He's probably gonna do the same thing, just with an arm. Oh, we're gonna scoot back. Oh no! Who cares? Oh, he stepped into it. That's great. That's great. Frenzy! Okay, we're gonna make him swipe at me. Oh no, I died to a stomp! Thanks. Oh man. We're gonna double fist it. We're just gonna see how well it goes. Alright, he's gonna swing. He's gonna do, yeah. Alright, come on. Oh, did I get slammed? Alright, we're gonna make him do that again. Alright, come on, bud. I think I started to really get him figured out, though. Okay, he's gonna turn around. I'm gonna get close. He's gonna swing. And then he's gonna lift his foot up. Oh, he's gonna back up. That's fine. Come and get some. Come get some! Oh, shoot. Okay, that's understandable. Swing. Alright, turn around. And then swing. Come on. Come on, come on. Scoop. Nope. Oh! He's swiping. Okay. That's fine. Swoop. That was almost too close. We're almost halfway. Nope. I was in the wrong spot. Can I get him to do that again? Nope. Can I rip his arm off? Oh no, what happened? How did he still hit me? Oh. No, I'm not doing that again, by the way. Oh, that's it for me for tonight. I'm gonna go. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this. Nope. Oh no. I thought this goes up. Oh, you have to do it after you beat him, I think. Shoot. Oh! Okay. Okay, man. 600 souls? Well, let's go level up then. That was interesting. It can be done. It just takes, you know, I gotta make sure I'm not making mistakes. Alright. So, another dex. Does that not bump up any of my... Maybe I should do strength. Oh boy. Whale, whale, whale. Yeah, this is gonna be great. Oh, I do need to talk. You know what? Let me go talk to him. Way of blue up here. Yeah, a weapon would help. Weapon would help, wouldn't it?
I see.
Hang on. I do want to go way of blue.
Do you? But hey, in but if the she did the
you.
great you may hey but have you
I think he's saying the same thing. Okay.
do you see
Oops.
the wood that was once you but hey
Oh shoot. Okay, bye.
in a rush,
Bro. Bye. Bye. Okay. He can't work until he gets in there. I don't have enough souls or anything for armor. Thank you. There's some pigs we can kill back here. Oh no. They're just as much of a pain as anything else here. Ooh, that will help out in our escapade. Okay. Oh no. Came all the way here. Oh, they're gonna kill me. They're gonna kill me. They're gonna kill me. They're piggies. They're gonna kill me. Oh no. I'm gonna see if I can get the pigs away. I can't even kill pigs. Actually, I was gonna go in here.
I could. Well, I do hope I see.
Did they really come in here? I know, right? Turn this into shield only run. Oh, it's guarding me out of the door. It won't even let. What? The pigs are the true boss of this game. Okay, well, I'm gonna say that's about it for right now. I think I'm just tired, but I'm gonna try to do this sometime tomorrow. I like the idea of just fists. I need to figure out how to get more damage, though. I need to figure out how to level up the fists themselves. I have a feeling I probably should have put them in strength, but we'll just have to find out. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me, and I will let you know when we stream next. So, bye-bye!